And gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are, game number 2 now, this best of 5. We got a 1-0 lead, of course, for OG over Mad Lads, and a pretty solid game performance from them here in the first game. But overall, Mad Lads definitely showing signs of life, and we'll see how they respond here in game number 2. This is the MDL European Finals coverage, a chance to go to the major on the line here. That's what we're playing for in this best of 5. I am BreakyCPK, and now going to be joined by a co-caster, thankfully. Going to be joined by, you used to know maybe as Melons, now known as Kyle. How's it going, man? Happy to be here. Have you here, I should say.
Me too, man. Me too. It's going good. You know, it's just a regular Sunday, nothing out of the ordinary. Just enjoying myself, about to cast some Dota.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. No, happy to have you on, and you know, it's been a while since we've gotten a chance to cast together, so this should be fun here. And we got a good series here to cast, indeed.
It's crazy. I was having a conversation the other day about just how long, I've been doing this. But if you remember, I think it was Hontor Finals.
Oh boy.
There was one. I played it a couple, then went to cast one, and that one was still like 5 years ago. Did it scare the shit out of you or what?
Well, yeah, I mean, trust me, I know. I think about it all the time. Here I am, 30 years old. I got a kid now. You know, I'm 31 years old. You just reminded me. So, God damn it. Just life
don't worry
moves
about
on.
it. Just keep watching Dota, you know, and distract yourself.
Exactly.
I actually I watched that first game, and something I wanted to preview the rest of the series with was I felt the big turning point in that game was when OG secured Roche. I thought it was about the time where Mad Lads could really search for the fight that would give them a winning advantage in the game. And as soon as OG gets that Roche, the game's going to be extended for another 5 minutes plus. Enigma's Midas continues to just churn gold, and eventually they're going to get to a point where I think their team fight just kind of crushes the Mad Lads lineup.
Yeah.
And it did.
That it basically did. You were right. So here we are, game number 2. The draft, of course, underway, and a different start to this draft. We have Mad Lads, the first pick of the Bane, going into so far a Tusk, and now the Death Prophet once again. So the Jerax Tusk we're going to see this time instead of the Earth Spirit. What do you think of this opening, though?
I'm a fan. I think DP is really, I don't want to say underrated because it's not anymore, but VGJ Thunder really proved how effective that can be because they're willing to play it in 3 lanes. If you look at the top cores in this meta, I think a big thing is that they can almost always be played in every lane, specifically Tiny, Gyrocopter, Death Prophet, and Omni Knight. Then there's other heroes like Enchantress, which become very strong because they can be played as either supports or cores. So even though you early pick them, it doesn't really give anything away in your draft.
Ancient Apparition, interesting. That's quite the support duo. I'm going to assume that's a support AA, and for Bane for that matter. That's pretty crazy, though.
I am not a huge fan of opening 2 supports, especially when they're both, I don't know how to put it, they're just kind of the same heroes, you know, like they just pick 2 5s as their opener. They have no ability now to edit their composition whatsoever, and a Furion pick from OG would just, I feel like, run them over. Like right now, if OG just increases the tempo before these these supports aren't really useful until 6 if they have to play against minion heroes. And I think really a Furion. I see a Furion Tusk just kind of running rampant over these 2 supports.
So it sounds like the idea, because the Furion would be so good, it's just simply because they're more single target focused, where those minions especially would just roll on over them.
Yeah, I think a Visage could do the same, but I would 100% expect OG to go in one of those directions.
Okay. Well, the bands to follow.
And it also fits their composition where they already have a DP. I think AA is like the de facto support counter to Death Prophet, but I just really don't like it when you first pick a Bane. There's no real synergy between these 2 heroes, and they're very good in lane, of course. So if they have an idea behind this draft, it could be fine, but we'll see. I like OGs, though.
Yeah, you'd hope they have an idea, but it is a unique opening, to say the least. And again, at least I'm not saying that we're going to see this, but when you do have such an opening of these potentially 2-5 supports, I mean, we've seen the occasional core Ancient Apparition. Like, is that of any potential, or do you just feel like this is the dual support? No question.
I mean, they could put like AA mid, but that would be very weird.
All right, simple. simple result right there. OG Lifestealer ban coming out for them with the Lena, actually. We saw, God, who was it that played Lena Oh, that's right. It was all three. Now that I'm thinking about it, Mad Lads, literally all 3 games yesterday against Singularity in the semifinals. They played Lena all 3 games, and that kind of came out of nowhere, it felt like. But ultimately, in a winning effort, of course, they won that series 2 games to 1. But yeah, Lena mid. What do you think of that?
I think it really depends on the player. I think mid is a interesting role right now where you can kind of just play what you feel. I'm getting some complaints about my mic, so I was a little distracted. I'm trying to fix it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a little bit, almost as if it was like a little close to you, so I was making some adjustments.
Is it better now?
It sounds fairly good now, yeah. I'll let you know if it gets bad.
Are you sure about that?
I'll let you.
It's marginally better.
It's marginally. It's like a little bit fuzzy. The occasional pops coming out, but yeah, again, I don't know if it's like just a matter of moving the mic away a little bit further from your face or what. But
okay, well, let me know how it goes. Oh, wait, it could also be because my chair's on the court. That would explain it. If it doesn't get better, let me know and I can like fix some stuff.
It actually sounds better now. So something you did right there sounds better.
Yeah, my chair may or may not have been on top of the court, but let's focus on the game at hand.
Yeah, about that. We had a Brewmaster ban as well as the Oracle for that matter. That's interesting.
I like it. I think Brew is one of the better heroes to match up against AA Bane because you just AA's big thing is like just burst damage, and Brew obviously just splits, identifies him, kills him, tosses up the Bane. Like you can AOE dispel the what's it called, the chilling touch charges from the entire enemy team, and it just fits the OG style, like S4 Brew is legend, and then also, of course, the team fight. Like, they just never win a team fight.
Well, OG, thinking about, I mean, you figure they still need a support, of course. I know that he's been playing some Witch Doctor recently quite a bit. Could be a candidate, perhaps. Is there another support that maybe comes to mind? Disruptor, the usual. Woo! Okay.
Interesting.
It's our first Dark Willow of the event. Finally, we get to see her.
I've actually, where was it? I think it was the EG's. Yeah, EG just used it against VGJ earlier. I think it was mostly to match up against Terrorblade. I expect it to be the 4. I think that's the role that's best suited for Willow right now. I truthfully don't understand the hero that well at the moment. So he just does a lot of damage, and it's really, really annoying to play against.
Yeah.
That's my summary.
Well, I mean, this is the first game I get to cast with her as well, so it's going to be a new experience for both of us, even, it seems like, for the most part. I know that she's made, she's dabbled here and there from the Captain's Draft tournament itself to now being entered into Captain's mode, but...
Oh, geez. I'm
gonna be right back. I think my mic is worse than you're letting on. Let me try and run some tests real quick, and I'll be right back.
Okay, fair enough. All right, look at what you did, guys. You made it feel bad now. Come on. I thought it was fine there. Anyways, Viper coming out as the 3rd pick for Mad Lads.
Remaining.
So that's going to be their mid matchup, most likely, against the Death Prophet. Yeah, again, though, on a real note, I have not casted a Dark Willow game before, so really intrigued to see how she does. I know that she's been dabbling a little bit and from position 5 support to... in fact, I want to say OG played it a couple times in the Captain's Draft tournament. I believe I remember Fly playing it for them. But there's even potentially the off-lane Dark Willow in some matchups as well, so I guess that's definitely not out of the question. Possibly S4 could be playing it here, but we'll see. We'll see where they match up with it in this case. But 4th pick now for OG. Gonna settle for a Lycan. Okay, Lycan pick coming out. Again, this is game 2 of a best of 5, and OG's up 1-0, so it's also the mentality, the idea perhaps that a little more willing to try some different stuff. But they go Lycan, the run-at-you hero, the run-at-you expert. Bane feels like could potentially be a little bit annoying for him, but overall his army, it goes back to the idea that they're very single-target heavy. Kyle was mentioning there with the Nature's Prophet potentially being good for the reason of all the minions and everything, and no different here. Helm of the Dominator, liking those wolves, the Necronomicon. That's going to be a lot of creatures running at you. So
10 seconds remaining.
Yep, and that's I'm back, but it was literally just because my chair was on top of the coin.
Okay.
So that's the solution there. They pick Lycan. I think Fury and Visage, Lycan, they all kind of fit the same composition, but it's just what you want when you look at the first 3 picks from Mad Lads. It's a really good Bat Rider game, so I like the pick. But you need Bat to sort of snowball the game. And I don't like when he's forced to play without like a natural partner in the game. Like neither AA nor Bane really wants to play with Bat from the start of the game. And obviously you can utilize like the global factor of the AA, but you really want this like roaming hero with the stun to play with your bat in the
5
laning phase
seconds
and sort of
remaining.
run over this Lycan.
You need a traditional force support. That kind of goes back to the idea of having the Bane, Ancient Apparition supporting cast. You know, they don't have that Earth Spirit or, you know, Nyx Assassin or whatever, as you're talking about. So, yeah, that's going to be curious to see how they make that work. You figure their final pick is going to be setting up to be a safe laner, which Phantom Lancer was banned already by OG, so that's not going to be one. What's another safe laner that comes to mind? It feels like, I mean, this is a 4-range lineup, maybe, so it's something like maybe a Juggernaut is always a solid pick, I feel like, but
I think you want like a CK. If there were a Brood game, I like Brood here too. You really need something that like. If you look at the draft, like they need another frontliner, preferably something with a stun, because both A and Bane and Bat, like they're what I would call like they utilize vision. And they utilize these heroes that sort of go in and make things happen in the game, and they need something to do that, something to give these heroes like an area to play around. Like you need to. There's the Brood band themselves. Interesting.
Huh. So, well, that means they're not going it obviously, but also wanted to take it away from OG potentially. On the other side,
mean, maybe they'll pick like a Bristleback or something, but otherwise, I think it's like a CK. They could Weaver.
10
they could just
remaining.
Terrorblade. No, Terrorblade's first through. Just kidding.
yeah.
Sven maybe.
5
They have a lot of
remaining.
options, I think, but I feel like OG's draft template is just easier to execute. But if Mad Lads just kind of run over the lanes, I think they can take the game pretty easily.
OG's turn to pick.
Huh. Settle for a Tiny in the end. It's the final
I
pick.
see. My thing with that is why not just pick that earlier? That's my only thing about taking Tiny there. Is it's a great hero, but you know it gets first
10
picked in a lot of
seconds
games. It can be
remaining.
played in every lane. Fnatic plays it as support occasionally. I
5
feel like you
seconds
just
remaining.
kind of squander your last pick when you pick something that's already so meta comfortable. And also the matchups in this game, like DP Tusk or like Go To, like that's an opener I've seen used against a first pick Tiny, because the Tusk has disables that aren't affected by the static resist, and then DP's is like a max HP drain that also isn't affected. So. An interesting choice.
Word it that way.
You may now
Abaddon.
select your heroes.
Final pick. Couple of unique heroes. I mean, Abaddon, of course, not the most unique crazy, but I'm speaking for this event specifically. I've been casting over the last 5 days. We have not seen Dark Will, I've not seen Abaddon really at all, so
yep.
Some different heroes.
It's a very strong hero, this game. You can remove the grip, the lasso, and the cold feet from AA. You also are, like, I would say one of the best matchups to lane against Batrider. So I'd expect to see some musical chairs here. You're gonna have OG like desperately trying to put this Abaddon against the Bat and have the Lycan lane just against the Tiny. But it's really just this laning phase, because if OG gets run over in lanes, they might lose this game. But otherwise, I feel like if they get one Roche, it's gonna be really easy for them to just kind of walk down a lane and win the
10
game.
seconds remaining.
So Qualifier is going to be playing the Viper this time. Of course, he played that mean Tiny
5
last
seconds
game. Did a hell of a
remaining.
job, but ultimately the losing effort. But yeah, he'll be on the Viper. Madara, of course, very worthy player himself. He'll get his hands on the Tiny this time and be in that safe lane. But it goes back to those first 2 picks. That's what really, you know, the overall draft, it sounded like from you. And is that how well is that going to work? Now, knowing the full lineup, do you expect to see like a 2-1-2 setup or something? Or will one of those be mid, perhaps?
I think if you can, you want to give this Viper a head start against DP. I think the DP Viper matchup is really interesting. I've played it a couple times as well, where whichever hero gets ahead, they can get much further ahead very quickly, because neither hero has any real method of coming back into the game. They have to lane for the first 6 to 8 minutes. So if one of them falls behind significantly on the first 2 waves, like that could just be like the end of the game. I remember there was some game we played this matchup, and I think our Viper was like level 7 or 8 against the enemy level 4 Death Prophet, which is just the way this goes if Koifa gets like that Wraith Band advantage.
Okay. So keep an eye on that, the CS early on, and see how the levels continue to look from the beginning. But Dark Willow in the hands of Fly, sure enough, going to be that position 5 support. And I know, like many out there, are going to be intrigued to see how he does and his impact this game, what he's able to bring to the table. So looks like he's heading towards the bottom lane to pair up. Well, Abaddon's currently down here for the Radiant side. So musical lanes, as you said, though, is very likely to happen this game. Mid matchup, DP versus Viper, though. That's probably going to be the one that stays.
I like this ward from OG. They're probably going to get a free sentry off on Birdie's ward in a moment.
Oh, because they see him running over here now, yeah. It's a matter of seeing if he places that or not. Hunting around for now.
Yeah, this is the highlight of the 5 support's life, by the way. This feels like I'm playing the game right now. Just watching this Bane. Where, like, you just ask, you're begging him to ward. He might wait to the minute mark so that he could block the camp for an extra minute, or he might just not place it. Who knows? And the suspense is killing me.
Buryu keeping us on the edge of our seats here for Mad Lads. He's just going to pick up the bounty rune. He'll hold on to the ward for now, so he's not going to give away that information.
So OG actually read the lanes. They didn't get much information other than seeing that Bane, but they called the swap, and Mad Lads actually swapped with no information. So OG's going to get the lanes they want, and Mad Lads kind of like juked themselves by swapping before they had info. I would have liked to see them run in a little deeper to place wards, but they're probably afraid of a Tusk block. Mid, Qualifier won the block, but other than that, OG has the lane advantage, I would say.
Well, bottom lane, Buryu's in here now, again, still holding on to that ward. See about that minute mark that you're talking about potentially. There we go. In fact, he places it, and that was a little more sneaky, so might stay there for the time being. Madara, taking some right clicks, though. Dark Willow. I wonder how Dark Willow builds here as far as what he's going to be getting. Does he get that Cursed Crown? I mean, is the Bramble Maze? You said yourself, I guess you're probably not the most familiar Dark Willow player.
Yeah, I was actually about to say Shadow Realms because it's like easy harass tool. And you don't die to these heroes if they're both single target. You just pop it. They're not able to attack you for a few seconds.
Yeah.
It's a lot of damage.
That it is. Middle lane, a lot of damage. Jerax is taken. He's already below half life and gonna have to fall back to the tower. So again, we do see supports on either side. Ancient Apparition as well as the Tusk in that middle. But yeah, Abaddon matched up against the Batrider. That does feel pretty strong simply for that aphotic shield that he has. The matchup up there. Bottom lane.
I've seen Sumail dumpster this matchup, but it's usually pretty even, I would say. But Abaddon does, with levels, tend to do much better than Bat. Bat has to win the first couple waves hard.
Wow. And it sounds like neither one of us caught that. I would not have expected that. Koikpa goes down, though. That's Jerax with the shard block into a snowball with Death Prophet assistance. So, first blood in favor of OG. Support wasn't there. And thus the kill happened. So back to Abaddon though real quickly. S4 plan, what kind of Abaddon game do you think this is going to be as far as build goes? Does he go into the Radiance, or is this more of a utility support?
Oh no, he just needs to keep his team alive. I think it's like a Helm of the Dominator medallion game, something like this. Like just get your team ahead pretty much.
Keep an eye on that as bottom lane. No Tail's actually being run at here. This could be a kill. Nightmare set up. Madara with that tree. Yep, couple of hits, stole the log, and easy kill on him in the end. So,
yep. This is the thing. So if you look at CS, it looks like Mad Lads is winning all the lanes, but this is sort of what they have to do to take this game because the mid game like tempo timing of OG's lineup, like they just need one fight. And I look at their lineup and I think if they get that one fight, that one Roche, like they just win the game. Mad Lads needs to make sure that that never ever happens. Yeah, and like if you look mid, you know, this Tusk is going to be a constant threat on the Viper, whereas the Bane AA are kind of forced to just lane. This is the downside of having 2 lane-dominating supports without a natural roamer, because they just don't really accomplish anything outside of sitting in this lane and helping Tiny.
Yeah. Well, Tiny for now is 1 versus 2 in the face, but those supports are nearby, so it's almost like he's trying to bait them out to go aggressive. And the supports will be ready to respond, but now they show. And, well, out comes a Chilling Touch, actually. Just so much enhanced damage, especially with hitting 3 heroes. And Lycan, no doubt, has to respect that. So, yeah, Lycan, when it comes to his CS, he's 8-1 right now against a 17-4 Tiny. Understandably, much better start for the Tiny.
This is what you want, though. Lycan's got 7.4 base regen right now, so he wants to be pressured. He wants these 3 heroes here to just hit him and make his game a little slower. He doesn't care because this isn't where he's supposed to take over the game.
Middle lane.
He's still CSing quite well.
They're diving pretty deep right there, but I guess not really too afraid. Good reason, so Death Prophet just falls back, but man, you talk about that regen there on Lycan, and man, look at Abaddon though. He's starting to shoot up that CS chart. Here at the top lane now. He's 19-6 compared to the 12-3 Batrider, so it's going the way of S4 quite a bit.
Yep. He has a 20 damage advantage and a Quelling Blade, so it's essentially impossible for KZ to ever deny a creep, and as you can see, S4 can also just walk at him, and there's not much you can do.
Yeah. So is this a case if you're Mad Lads where Do you think about a lane adjustment here? Maybe eventually send Tiny to the top lane, of course, later on, or you fine for now? As top lane, Batrider. Ancient Apparition's porting in, though, and he'll be fine. Jerax, no, he's good, too. But yeah, do you look to make adjustments?
I mean, you can't, though. That's the problem. Like, you need to... Who adjusts? Like, what do the supports do? They can go stand in another lane, but that's the extent of their usefulness. So, like, they force this TP top, and now KZ's going to die anyway. And they can't do anything but watch.
Yeah. He did a good job of that, but off to the side, yeah, unfortunately not much more to be had. And I also saw Dark Willow bottom lane. He was actually zoning out Madara quite a bit, and got him to about 15% life or so. Coming out of that Shadow Realm, he talked about the damage of it. So, and they're going to go here with the Cursed Crown. No, Madara will just walk it off. He'll be fine with that Shadow Realm auto attack. I mean, look at that. That's a freaking 5 support, dropping him like 20% life in one hit. It's ridiculous.
For 80 mana.
That seems
like
strong.
260 damage on the ability.
Yeah.
If you include the auto attack, which you should, because it's from 600 extra range away.
Yeah. Middle lane, who's sitting here? That's Bane. He's being pretty patient, but again, don't really know exactly what's going to be accomplished with that. Instead, they head back to the bottom lane. But yeah, you're right, Kyle. You could definitely tell the supports, especially of the dark side.
Walking in circles.
Yeah. Not sure where to be.
Feels bad, man. Like Burger's just like, all right, well, I'm done with this side of the river. Let me go check the other side. You know, it's like he's on vacation in Cabo or something.
Oh.
Not Cabo, Puerto Rico or something.
Well, Cinderin found a place. It's bottom lane to kill Lycan. Lycan was a little too far up. Back over here, though. Bane trying to deal with this Spirit Siphon, and the Brain Sample helped him do so. He's going to be fine for now, and Mad's going really deep, but Abaddon's here as well. He is level 6, by the way. No borrow time just yet. That hasn't leveled it up just yet, as the Aphotic Shield on Death Prophet pulls him out of the lasso. Jerax going to turn around with a snowball, go back on a Quake Foot. Mad is healing up with a Spirit Siphon, barely alive for the time being. Another Aphotic Shield comes out. Down goes Tusk, though, as he went in. Can they keep Death Prophet alive? It looks like it's a very close back and forth there.
I like their movement, though. They put No-Tail up top now, which is the ideal place for Lycan. This is arguably the most valuable tower to kill outside of the mid-tower. And as soon as he kills this tower, Lycan's going to want to just play this area for the entire game. So if they move him up here, he's almost 6, and they force all these rotations, no lasso, so now they just come up here with both supports and they backlane.
Speaking of Lycan, he's going the 302 build. No Howl just yet, and as I say that, he's... No lasso, but the Firefly's still doing plenty of damage. Snowball on Ikezu, but I don't think Lycan's getting out of this, especially with Cinderin being here, so... Oh, Bramble Maze? Is that going to save him? No-Tail in the trees. He does not have a TP, though, so best case, he just delays this, it feels like. Yeah. They run him down. Shadow Realm, Cursed Crown. That's going to be a kill on Kezu, though, so at least they turn it, and they see Dark Willow coming in to make that happen. So you like the adjustment, but the big picture, Lycan still goes down, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, probably could have avoided that. Like, I think they had vision of the tower. Like, the bat just kind of ran over and killed him. They had a ward as well. They just didn't back out in time. It's good TP from Cinderin. But the thing is, like, this is kind of what they need to continue to do. I think that their advantage right now is not significant enough. And if you look at the Lycan and Abaddon, like, those are the heroes that are going to matter here. You're going to have a Drums. You might go like Drums Radiance on Abaddon, but I see this game just going significantly in OG's favor, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
He went Radiance on Puck the other day, so who the hell knows what S4's
I did not see that, but I would have changed my guess on his item build had I known that.
Yeah, he's done some yellow stuff recently. Death Prophet lasso in. He has the Exorcism up. This could be a big kill on him if they manage to take him out. The damage, it looks like it is going to be too intense. He falls, and they want more even. Fly, he should be fine. Tusk, the TP stopper, they do not have it.
Bottom lane, though. Die from Abaddon. S4 might get him. He's quelling blading. Will he get it?
Running him down.
Oh, he didn't have vision for the shield proc.
No. He's living. And now Madara's like, I want to kill him. Toss in. No borrowed time, but not going to be enough damage.
Yep. A lot of people may not know this, but if you don't have vision when your shield props, it does not do the damage. Otherwise, that would have been a kill for sure.
I'm going to admit it. I did not know that. So when you even said that we saw the explosion, I thought for sure that was going to kill him. But you're right. That's no vision, no kill. So well played. Juking enough.
If you look at the vision also from OG real quick, it's really nice. They have total control of this dire jungle. So they see these supports, they see the bat, and they can just play around their movement. In the meantime, Lycan's just farming jungle, and they maintain a presence in all 3 lanes anyway. Obviously not bottom, but Abaddon will probably just TP back down in a second.
Well, for now, it's just Bane and Tiny. Tiny, Soul Ring early on. He's going to finish Power Treads, and he's going to go the Blink. We saw Qualifier again playing the last game. He went the early Shadow Blade. It seems like this is almost like a preference thing from player to player. What initiation until you get first. As he's using the Blink. But Keizu, by the way, the nice shard block initially. They want to go further. Snowball in with S4. Already using that Mist Coil level 2. If Onyx Shield level 4 applied. If that explodes with Sight, that should be a kill. Looks like it's going to be the case, and he has the auto attack to finish the job. And now Cinderin, he has to be careful. The shard block on him with the Cursed Crown. Cinderin, no doubt, going to be dying right here. Flying credit for the kill on him. They're diving to second tier tower easily. Back to the middle lane, though. Spirit Siphons up from Matt on Buryu. He's trying to live against this Viper Strike of Qualifier. Going to be surviving for now because of the snowball in. Buryu getting low as well. They do kill Matt. They're going to kill Buryu in return. The Orb of Venom. You know it's not going to tick him down. Manages to live.
I'd like to see DP like get out of this lane. I think Viper, Timbersaw, all these really annoying tanky heroes, you kind of just want to play away from them, and you don't really want to just TP in to their face and fight them because you just want to run away. Viper has to sit in this lane and just hit heroes. Like he just stays and hits whatever's in front of him. So make sure that's not a hero.
Meanwhile, Jerax found himself a little too deep in the jungle.
They can get top tower in the meantime, though.
True.
Tower is under attack.
Bottom tower, taking some pressure, but now Death Prophet's down here, you mentioned. I'd like to see him move a little bit, so...
He wants to play against Tiny, not the Viper. Viper, you just let a support just sit there, leech XP, like just don't mess with them. But this Tiny is weak and can be pressured, even though DP is like 1k network behind.
Yeah. Middle lane, the Bramble Maze connects on a Qualifier, and they're just going to right-click him down, liking an expert at that, of course, in the shapeshift for him. So good Bramble Maze.
They can do that every time. Like as soon as they catch somebody alone, they can just run at him. Tusk, Lycan, Abaddon, they commit super hard, and there's no real risk because the turnaround potential for Mad Lib isn't there. There's no real teamfight spell that they fear on OG when they dive.
Madara, Avalanche in, hits S4. He has a borrowed time, remember. Photic Shield going to keep him alive for the time being. It does explode, and there's that borrowed time. They lasso him on in. They want to kill Abaddon after the fact. The Ice Blast going through. S4, another shield, though. He's fine for now. Juan, 17 charges. He should be able to survive this. And it's not going to be enough damage. He pops the 1, and he's going to heal up, be fine for now. Keizu, the Shadow Realm auto attack, secures a kill on him, and now Madara, he's trapped between the Ice Shards and the Bramble Maze. That is a tough trap to deal with. And now the Cursed Crown on top of him.
He's gripped under tower.
He goes down. Bottom lane.
He should not be there, but okay.
What is this now? Cinderin is actually being run down by Tusk. So, yeah, you mentioned Death Prophet dies to the bottom tower during that.
Yeah. Viper just respawned, TP'd in, Bane showed up to cancel the TP with Grip. Otherwise, it's a really favorable trade, but it still works out for OG because they're getting a tower. That's the key. They lost the mid tower a little bit ago, but this just helps them set up for more pressure and an eventual Roche with the pickoff next time they make the move with Lycan ult.
Okay. Keizu trying to finish this drums for the time being, but speaking of the Lycan ultimate, 35 seconds on that. Has a helm on the Dominator. And taking over that dire jungle. Nearby.
Fly has a full veil on the courier. He's ahead of the Death Prophet in network.
Bottom tower is
really? Oh my god, really? He is. 3-0-2.
I like what Mad chose to do though. When you're behind, you just buy the treads. It's like the most cost-efficient boot, and people just buy phase blindly every game, and it drives me nuts because treads it's 10 stats for at one time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just such an incredible boost, and obviously you get a 50 damage talent, so you really need attack speed more so than just a bonus 24 from phase. Plus, in this game, he's going to die, and running away faster is not going to help.
But Kyle, you're underestimating the laziness of Dota players, right? They have to power tread swap, and then that's a whole nother level. So, phase boost,
if you watch the best players tread swap, and they don't complain about it. We got a smoke coming. They're gonna go look to connect mid. They might go all the way up top, but if you look at the vision from OG, they're set up for this. And I feel like they're really strong right now. DP ult's about to come up. Fly is a veil, 4 drains, Lycan ult up. I mean, they might chase the Tusk, but this kill means nothing.
Yeah, and especially if they go too deep for this, the response can happen. Ice Blast.
They smoke away from their push lane.
Ice Blast will hit top lane. It does connect on a no-tail there.
It just doesn't matter, though.
Yeah.
That's the issue with that mid lane. As soon as that mid lane's pushed by OG, they know they can just run away from it and gather top. And Mad Lions is aware, like, we can't go run into them and fight them here. So they just kind of waste the smoke, which is the right call, but obviously OG is very happy with the free tier 2.
Yeah.
And he will be going Radiance on a Abaddon, it appears.
There you go. Answers coming. Viper, by the way, another hero that could definitely change up his build quite a bit. And he's going to go the 4-staff into a Hurricane Pack eventually. Back to the top lane. Bane, they're running at him once again. The good old strategy of right-click him down. That's what No-Tail does. That shapeshift. That with the Bramble Maze. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good synergy.
More importantly, they force TPs, and now they run straight at middle. They know that at most this is only a Viper. He'll have to cancel TP, and just like that, they secure top lane all the way to tier 3, force Mad Lads out of the map, and now they can just take total control back. And the map suddenly became this.
Are scanning.
Well, Qualifier, he's not out of the woods just yet, literally. He doesn't have a TP, as you mentioned, and now Qualifier just has to keep on running. Jarek's trying to catch him with the ice shards. Just out of range, though.
Yep.
So he's good. But yeah, the map control dominance.
Yeah, but look at their warding as well. Like, they ditch the area after they scour it completely devoid of resources, and then they just fuck off.
Language, Kyle.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is a family-friendly stream?
PG-13, please. Well, we only get one fuck per cast, but that was just
whoa,
two. So, whoa, God!
Oh.
Each of us get one per cast. There you go. Now we're done with it. They're rotating bottom lane, smoke up, but OG, again, the control, the vision, they're just going to fall back for now. Tusk is probably going to spot this. Yeah, oh, Matara knows he's there, though. He just jumps right in with a blink, so Jarek's is going to go down, it looks like.
This is the definition of, oh, double miss.
No way, no way, another miss. Okay, he's dead.
But that is the definition of a good death. Up top, Abaddon's farming for a Radiance. The bottom lane was pushed by No-Tail. They just leave the map. They're going to go push mid, maybe look to connect top. Like, they don't care about this. They're 3K ahead.
Yep, they are, and Mad Lads is continuing to try to stretch here to make a kill happen. Again, Batrider. That's the thing, though, going the drums first, it's understandable, but at the same time, no blink, so no blink, no 4-staff. He can't necessarily just get in there as quickly as possible to catch somebody.
I would have rather seen Tiny go like drums Shadowblade and the Bat rush a blink instead of the reverse.
Okay.
Because Tiny's the hero you actually want to scale, whereas now he just has a blink. And if he can't do stuff with it, that item is effectively 2250 gold that doesn't help him accelerate whatsoever, so...
That actually goes back to the point I brought earlier, yeah, kind of like a player preference, but that's a good analysis on this game. It definitely could have made sense to go Shadowblade instead. Or Tiny.
Yeah, I just don't know who's going to scale. They have a blink on Tiny, a 4-staff on Viper, and OG's draft is going to scale better already, so...
Yeah.
It really just comes down to Roche. Like, I feel like if OG gets this Roche, I don't know how Mad Lads win.
Well, right now, OG taking over their jungle once again, but yes, some big items coming up. Level 3 Necronomicon on Lycan's just about finished. As always, pretty big. That Radiance for Abaddon is 2,800 gold, so he's getting there, and they're going to trap Qualifier, actually, but there's that 4-staff. Away from the shot. Yeah, Shard Bramble Maze, like, this is ridiculous, getting caught in that. 4-staffs are key here for the Dire team. And they only have the one right now, right? Yeah, so Batrider is going to go Blink first instead. I'm sure we're going to see a 4-staff even on him after that, but...
Yeah. The problem is just this Abaddon. Like, I neglected to realize, like, Abaddon just makes your hero so annoying to play because your napalm stacks actually mean nothing. He can remove lasso, and if you do lasso the Abaddon, you can always just ult to break it and or just wait and then heal up the full by standing in your Firefly.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Bottom tower push, easy control. And they're going to go for tier 2.
Set up by Jarek's as well. He's going to break smokes just in case. How do you stop this?
You don't. You push other lanes. The Dire team. That's what they're doing.
Oh, they're going to get Jarek's, though.
Oh, yeah, they do find him.
That one's not as good of a death as the one previously, but it's not bad.
Still, ultimately buys time for the tier 2 tower to easily go down. Middle lane, Qualifier, he'll have to fall back. It's a little bit of damage. Not much, though, on that tower there. So, Dark Willow, yeah, the Villa Discord working on her own Yules here. This is a farm support.
Yep.
Got going. Batrider, Blink, 1,600 gold.
Goals on the DP as well.
Yeah,
it's really just it's this Radiance and the Roche timing. That's what OG's waiting for.
I was going to bring that up earlier. We saw Matt played Death Prophet last game. He actually didn't even go the Yules last game. He actually went a Solar Crest into a Aeon Disc, as he's kind of doing here. But Abaddon, by the way, top lane, he's fine. He just popped his Borrow Time right away.
Ooh,
ran. Shard block, not going to happen.
It's a different game. Oh, team fight. Maybe.
Nah, Keizu, I don't. This almost seems dangerous for Keizu, honestly. But actually, the top lane, there is a fight breaking out. Tusk does go down. Now Death Prophet has to run, so Keizu does kill Fly. So it works out pretty well for Matt so far. 2-0. Well, Matt turned around. Throws the Yules up. Still running after him, but here we go. No-Tails, like, now's my time. Right click's coming. Madara realizing he's running. Quick Fuss, Spirit Siphon on him. The Extras have committed for this as well. OG wants a big fight. They're going to get maybe something out of it. On a Viper, looks like off to the side of the left. Cinderin cannot TP out in time, and Viper is run down in the long run.
There's no counterplay to that. Like they just don't have the team fight. I think they need to. There's some sort of miracle initiation. A buyback on AA. He's going to try and make sure they don't roach for free here, but it just feels like OG is just. They understand this game. You know, like they've won a bunch of majors. They're not gonna throw. And to go to your point about the item build. The last game was really just a physical damage threat. This one, he just kind of needs a Yules to either just save himself, and then he can go probably like Blink Aeon Disc as he's going now, maybe a BKB, a Pipe. Like, he doesn't really fear anything but this the magic damage right now.
True. Yeah, it kind of goes back to the skilling of especially like a Viper right now, and the Tiny for that matter. You know, not as threatening. But Tiny does have the Shadow Blade here, so he gets both of them in succession. And going to work on an S&Y next.
The thing is, their whole draft relies on burst and this like 5 to 10 second window where they're hoping they can just take out like 3 of OG's heroes, whereas OG's lineup is a lot more about long sustained engagements, and they have the ability to do so because the heroes are so tanky and they have an Abaddon, and they have the snowball save, they have 2 Yules soon. They have the Willow Shadow Realm. Like, they have so many methods of prolonging engagements that it's gonna be really difficult for Mad Lads, I believe. They get the lasso top though. Is it bad enough TP? No, we might just be dead on our tail.
Oh, shapeshift run, not gonna work. Yeah, Ice Blast.
Radiant's top
tower do him in, so
no, Abaddon TP is up in 8 seconds, and maybe he lives there.
Well, he was busy finishing that Radiance, which he just got, so worth the sacrifice, I guess. But top tier 1 is gonna fall in favor of Mad Lad. So, you know, it continues to be, you're suggesting, and for good reason, that OG is having a really good game here, but Net Worth suggests that this is a very close game. It's 1,000, 2,000 maybe at the most. It's been bouncing between that for pretty often here.
It's not that close.
It's more than just Net Worth, is what you're saying.
Tower is under attack.
Look, I really like to know that even though he's dead, he's scouting with wolves. He's gonna land a kill on AA for his trouble, and that actually, this is a guy with no buyback, which means that No-Tail's gonna respawn, TP to the top shrine, and run immediately at Roshan.
There you go. 35 seconds. He's dead for. Keizu is in the area of Roshan himself currently, but gonna pick up that invis as over here. Fly. He's got a Shadow Realm in 1 second. May need to use it soon. Nope, never mind. They're not even going to go on him. Okay, well, Shadow Realm TP. That's pretty good, too. He's out of there. So, no Roshan going to be happening, but...
Yeah, they don't need to. They only lose the game to Roche right now. I forgot to... I didn't realize, like, Mad Lads, how do they actually do Roche ever? You just chill if you're OG. You have a Radiance on Abaddon. He's soon to be top net worth in the game. And your Lycan just crushes every hero in this game. Like, you're the by far largest source of both physical and tower damage in the game, and you can just sort of go Roche when it's free, which it might be now. They just saw the AAL whiff, and now they run right into Roche. So
there you go. Exorcism, is he going to use it for this? Doesn't look like for now, at least. Yeah, Lycan getting it down with that Radiance. Abaddon now as well. So, meanwhile, bottom tier 2 is going to be pushed in from Mad Lads, and we might keep this going.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Figuring they can't stop Roshan, of course. Nope, never mind. He's going to fall back. So, Aegis, who do you give it to? Death Prophet, Lycan, Abaddon? Okay.
Yeah. Lycan and DP are both ult-focused heroes. They're really bad Aegis carriers, whereas now Abaddon can just play super aggressive. His Radiance will cancel Blink on both Bat and Tiny, and DP Lycan can just hit buildings instead.
All right, he's leading the way. Tier 2 middle lane, Madara nearby with that Shadow Blade active. Going to be wearing off in a second, though. having to keep his
Dire's
distance.
middle
So
tower has
outer
fallen.
tower is pretty much a lost cause if you're Mad Lads here. The base, though,
Radiant's
different
bottom
story.
tower
Want to
is
defend
under
that. Top lane, Keizu thought he had a lasso. He gets lifted up, though, with the Eels, and now Keizu's in trouble. The Bramble Maze, the Cursed Crown. He will fall, and he does have a buyback. No lasso, however. That's going to be key. S4 running after him, and so is Lycan. Cinderon's going to be beat down because of that Madara just avalanche toss combo, but S4 borrowed time. He's not going to heal much from it, though. The tree toss, Aphotic Shield will negate that, and he'll survive for now. Remember, he has the Aegis worst case right here for him. Shapeshift hits out the big avalanche initiation. They do kill the Abaddon, but now Madara gets turned out by the snowball. He is dead with no buyback. Bane's locked down in the backgrounds. Just going to put the sleep on a Death Prophet. Mad's just running at the whole team with it. Exorcism still active. Although it is wearing off here now, so no more ultimates for the Radiant side. But they don't have a Tiny,
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
so they're not scared. Quake Bump, Cursed Crown. Stun's going to proc in a second. He gets back to the fountain at least. He'll survive. Buryu, different story. He'll fall. And OG, they might as well go middle late even.
Dire's
Yeah.
middle tower is under attack.
Why stop? This potentially is the beginning of, well, I don't want to say the end just yet, but OG, and with that buyback, that actually is going to be a cue to fallback, it looks like. 10 seconds for Tiny to resurrect. S4, again, still has the Aegis. He actually has another borrowed, oh no, he did use the Aegis, what am I saying? He does have a borrowed time, though. And he pop it right there to run. Keizu, okay, lasso, they want to get this kill. The Ice Blast actually secures it, and they're also going to get the Tusk because of that. So, well, Madland's making the best of the situation.
Yeah, but
You're not sold on it, though. No-tell?
I think a no-tell, it's a little better.
Oh, sleeps the Centaur. There's the
Oh,
Fiend's
what
Grip.
a... Ooh, he sleeps so he can't interrupt.
Well,
What a player.
yeah.
Dota.
That was, yeah, it took a second to register, right? It's like, was that a misclick? Oh, no, that actually makes sense. Oh, well played. So they,
I will
they
say,
kill him.
it's good, but the issue is that what do they get out of it? They get kills, but they traded buybacks for it, and I always feel like a buyback like kind of negates any kill you would earn. So like it's a if you buy back, you need one extra kill to pay for it, or some sort of objective. There is no Roche to take. They might get this mid tier 2, but is that enough?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, there was that buyback change that happened, of course, very recently here, and there wasn't just the supports really Bane that bought back. So,
You're completely right. I completely forgot about that.
yeah.
Just the fact that you don't get less gold from buying back is like a super significant change, because that's like the main reason you were punished from buybacks previously, because you would buy back, you'd turn around the fight, get a triple kill, but you'd actually feel terrible if the hero that bought back got any of the kills, because you'd have this big number, like you end a streak, oh, you know, Bane got 900 gold, but in reality it was like 350. You just feel bad. You feel like you let your team down. It's sort of like taking out a payday loan, you know?
Yes. It feels good initially, and then, yeah.
But it's going to hurt your family in the long run.
Yes. Well, that's, again, not the case anymore. Valve decided that was not you know, something they wanted to push, and they decided to change things up a little bit. So instead now no longer get the debuff, and again, the supports at least, it's even cheaper now. Now, the core is a different story. It is even more expensive. But, again, you could argue that not having the debuff is the biggest thing like you're getting at, so. Well, they're pushing back as Keizu will reconnect now, and Lycan's still dead for another 13 seconds, so this could very likely be at least a tier 2 tower kill. And Viper right now is actually top net worth in the game after all that fighting. SNY finished. It feels like, again, Mad Lads is doing enough to at least hang in the game and give themselves an okay chance at this point.
I just don't know what items they're going to buy that are going to change the way this... Like, there's a BKB on Death Prophet, a pipe on Lycan. So those are items that change the fights. And right now, Mad Lads have not itemized for team fighting whatsoever. And, well, we'll see what happens. Here it comes, I guess.
Bramble Maze put down. That's going to stop them quite a bit. And actually, the Fear on a Tiny on top of that. They do kill Keizu in the midst of it. And another kill on Koikva very likely going to be happening. Yeah, the OG just clearly showing off their net worth lead there, if anything. It has completely jumped Mad Lads off guard. Madara turns and kills Tusk, but probably going to be at a cost for him. Might as well take somebody with him, I guess. But yeah, he goes down 3 for 1 in favor of OG.
I cannot stand Sanjin Yasha as an item when you're in a position like this, and both cores purchased one. It's one of those items that is nice to like continue accelerating, like when you're ahead of a game, but when you're behind, like the item doesn't do anything to make your hero stronger. So like Viper there, they initiate on him, this 4,000 gold item like doesn't do anything for him. And honestly, items aren't like the reason they're losing this game. It's mostly draft, but still, I just don't agree.
It's part of the yeah, part of the recovery, if anything, but Tiny, buyback, as you mentioned, he has to play safe, though, kind of because of that, because it would be a dieback, obviously. So he backs off quickly. He's already at half-life, though. Buryu kind of the ice shards, but OG going for objective gaming right now. And they're going to take out the melee shortly after. The range racks, perhaps, but here comes Viper TPing in. Batrider's also now. Madara wants to keep them nearby for now. Jarek, Snowball, going to keep them alive for the time being. Spirit Siphon, again, forced step away from Madara, but that Snowball's going deep. The Walrus Punch to secure the kill. Dieback on a Tiny is official. We see the Terrorize activated as well. Wearing out pretty quickly, though. BKB from Mad. As he's backing off. Of course, no Exorcism throughout this. Now, Notel is pushing bottom lane during this. There's a Terrorize coming out, actually. We'll fear them away. Buryu, he's being ran at by that Lycan shapeshift form, and he's dead now for a minute with no buyback. This is probably the beginning of the end now for OG.
That'll die for the team, but yeah, this is
There's Mega Creeps. And OG looking very good to make it 2-0 here in this best-of-5 series, and there we go. It's official. GG, well played is called. OG, again, it's not over yet, but best-of-5. They're up 2-0. Mad Labs will need to win 3 games in a row if they want to go to the major of the MDL. Impressive from OG, though. The way you made it sound like, Kyle, especially, was that OG was really in control of that game from the beginning and did not change.
It's just, honestly, man, from the opener. Like, once you've picked Bane AA, especially as first pick, like, what do you actually, like, get out of your advantage? You know, you can't change your draft at all. And the archetype is you're going to be, like, tri-laning and having these 2 guys walking around the river.
Yeah.
And OG just played, you know, OG Dota. Like, that's a very comfortable draft for them. Every player is on a comfort hero. And I think the MVP for me has just got to be Fly, because obviously he's drafting. And if you look at his Dark Willow, he very narrowly, he was close, but he did not outdamage the Death Prophet, but he was about 50 off. So he actually did 50 less than the Lycan as well. So he really just made that hero look broken. And he was a part of many kills, and again, he was responsible for the strategy. So props to Tal. Yeah.
But your thoughts on Dark Willow as a hero? Like, are you more impressed with the hero? You think you could see more, or what?
It seems it's just an interesting hero. Like, you have an extra ultimate, which is kind of absurd to me. But I think you're really strong in lane. The Bramble Maze is, like, super annoying to fight against. Is like you just have all these. Any hero that's strong in lane, offensively, and also has, like, both an offensive and defensive, like, the fear is as, like, what are they called? Like a team fight changer. I don't know. I could think of a better word for it during the break, but you can either kill somebody or just fear the entire enemy team away. Like, it's just, you have so many tools at your disposal that it looks really good when it's executed well.
It's like a Naga sleep. It's like a great setup tool or a great response.
Yeah, if Naga also had, like, a dancing Dagon that you could tame and then utilize to kill enemies on command every 30 seconds. Yes, it would be about the same.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, yeah, I like the synergy as well. Like I said, with the whole Bramble Maze idea with the Lycan running at you, makes you go panic mode, and you're taking a stun as a result. So, anyways, OG looked good. That's the moral of the story here, and they're up 2-0 now in this series. So, Mad Lads has their work cut out for them. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Game number 3 going to be coming up next on BreakyCPK, joined by Kyle here. Game number 3, we'll be right back.